Uh, Ananda Marga has two main goals. First one, self-realization and serve to others. To understand who you are and learn to live with your full potential. We do meditation, we do yoga. And this meditation yoga, what we do, it can't be without service. Service must be there. In Ananda Marga, when I come, the most inspiring thing for me was the service. And I'd like to share you one story about that I heard it many years ago, but I keep it in my mind. It's a Krishna's lifetime. There was one king announced that he is going to do big service. So he invited so many people, thousands of people, poor people, whatever. He said he's going to give food, whatever they need, he's going to provide them all. So then Krishna went there also with his follower, and there was thousands of people gathered together. But then they were all very happy with the food and they were really enjoying their time. And then suddenly there was a donkey. And the donkey was not usual donkey. The half body of the donkey was a gold. And then the other half was just normal donkey. So then he's screaming, "This is not service, this is not service." And everybody was surprised. How come the donkey is number one talking, and how come his body is half gold and half is normal, and why he's saying this is not service? He's doing a great service here with thousands of people, feeding thousands of people. So then everybody wanted to know what this donkey meant. So they were all looking at Krishna. Then Krishna said this story. He said, thousands of years ago, there was one family. They were a very poor family who lives in a village, but they were very famous. Famously, they were great devotees of God. So the God wanted to test, what could it be? So then that time in the village, they had a flood. So everything, it was really difficult to find food. The family members was like mom, dad, and they had son and a daughter, so 4 people. So then the dad will go around and beg food or try to find food, and he couldn't find like 3-4 days. So then finally, last day, they found a little bit porridge. So then they were cooking the porridge and they were very happy. Finally, they found, after a long time, food. So they were all very happy, getting ready to eat the food. And then suddenly, knock came into the door. And then they opened the door, there was one old lady, and she said, "Well, I'm very hungry. Do you have any food to spare for me?" And then the family said, "Oh, it's God coming. We have a guest, we must serve them." So then they said, "Okay, yes, coming." So they had very little porridge, so they divided them and already 4 pieces. And then they know if they can't have that porridge, they're all going to die that day. So then the dad said, first the youngest boy said, "Oh, okay, I'll give my porridge to this old lady because I'm young and I'm strong, I still can survive 1 extra day." And then the daughter offered the same offer, and then the mom offered the same, and the dad in the end said, "No, I'm the head of the house, I must give mine first." So then the dad gave his portion, and the old lady was so tired and hungry, and she just swallowed in one bite. And he said, I'm still hungry. Could you give me some more? So then the family again had discussion. Then the mom gave his portion, and then the daughter gave. In the end, the son gave his portion. So then the old lady was very happy. And she said, oh, finally, I'm full. I haven't been eating for months. Thank you very much. And then the old lady leaves. And then that very night, all the family, they died, starving. And then that's the time the donkey came. The donkey came to their house because he heard this great service for God, and they gave him great sacrifice. So the donkey came, and then he rolled around in his house, their house, and then every small crumb was left on the floor that touched the donkey's body and turned donkey's body into gold. So then crumb was very small. That's why the donkey was on the halfway gold. And since then, donkey looking for a place in the world that where they're going to be really true service and sacrifice. He would like to have rest of his body gold. So he, every time people announce the service, he comes to visit the place. Baba said about service, if you, because that king done that service because he wanted to become famous and put it himself on knowledgeable and say he's a great king that he has been serving. He wanted something out of it. So that Baba said that kind of service is not real service. The service is you give fully from your heart and sacrifice. That's yourself. That's a real service. So this donkey been looking for that kind of real service. That's why his half body was a gold. And aside also, I'd like to say some. When I was a kid, my mom and my grandma used to say, if you want to do something, get your work done, help people, serve people. And when you're helping other people, then your job becomes God's responsibility because you're doing the God's job. You're serving God's devotees, or you're serving people, so your job will get done. So I always used to remember that. So every time I wanted to, since I'm young, I remember, even I was before Margie, I remember anytime I had things to do, I never put my things first. I always put, if somebody asked me help, I put the people's needs first. And then somehow my things get done without my effort. So I recommend you highly do service and sacrifice, and be great with your service, sacrifice, and sadhana.